No pressure, right?
What's going on, guys? It's SGR Sean for Outer Gaming here, and I'm excited, man. This Spider-Man game, man, I was gonna make a video on this. I might still end up making a video about it because the game is still in development, but I was gonna make a video that I was still making about what it takes to make a good Spider-Man game, and I narrowed it all down. I still have the script right here with me, and it goes over every good Spider-Man game and what was the best thing about each one and how all of that could make a good Spider-Man game.
No autographs, please.
But with this trailer, I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet because the trailer's not that long. But I started looking at this thing top to bottom, and all I saw was good things. It's being developed by Insomniac Games. That's already a good thing. Ratchet and Clank, fucking Spyro, you know, guys that put love and attention to their games clearly with each one that they make. So that's already a good sign. Second good sign, it's made being affiliated with Marvel Studios, which means that the same love and attention that they put to the movies are going to be put into the game as well. And Marvel so far with the movies, they haven't disappointed. Let's see if they can continue that with the game and actually pull something off here. Third good thing, and this is not from the trailer, but if you saw the press conferences or the interviews on the live streams, the developers were there to talk about the game a little bit more, and they had a lot to share. So essentially in this game, they're putting a focus on the relationship between Peter Parker's main life and his Spider-Man persona and how they conflict with each other. How both of that just kind of collides. And if you've played any of the other games, like the PS1 game, Spider-Man was like the best example that I had, was that all the game, him being Peter, instead of it being like its own segment that you play through, it's just kind of like thrown along into the story because, well, the main villain is Venom at first, and Venom knows that Peter is Spider-Man, so he tries to get to him by kidnapping Mary Jane, and it kind of and that's enough for me, to be honest. That's enough of bringing Peter's life into the situation that makes it personal and makes the story move forward. Obviously, it's a PS1 game, and it was a short, simple game, but I kind of like that. But they haven't shown much of the story. I want to see what they do with that. But looking at the trailer itself, I know a lot of people, if you played Amazing Spider-Man 2, you're going to start to draw comparisons, and trust me, I did too, because it looked damn near similar to Amazing Spider-Man and how everything worked. Obviously, the city is actually alive. That's one very huge plus, because Amazing Spider-Man 2, the city was kind of dead and there was nothing going on. So that's an improvement, but at the same time, it is an early development version that we got shown. Who knows what's going to happen to the actual game, if it's going to be like that or not. I'm holding out, hopefully, but let's see what happens. But you cannot deny that one scene that he's going through that little cafeteria did not look good. That just screamed Spider-Man to me. And that little moment is what I always wanted to see in one of the games, because Spider-Man is an agile guy. Yeah, he's one of the most agile superheroes in the Marvel Universe. So the games didn't really capitalize on that as much. The only one that I could say that gave you impeccable control was Web of Shadows, and that's not only with the web rush, well, not the web strikes, but also with how you could grab onto things and jump from ledge to ledge pretty fluidly. If you upgraded the web swing, your speed would go through the roof. All these things, it made Web of Shadows gameplay and movement just be so much fun to play. when you got the hang of it. But this, since it's a lot similar to how Amazing Spider-Man 2 works, there's three things about this scene that make me worried already. One, is this a cutscene? The movement is too fluid. If you look at it frame by frame, you see that there's no animation cuts. Like, you notice that if it's a lot of stuff that's contextual, or if it was actually button presses happening during this scene, then you would see like a little glitch in between the animations. Like, as it transitions from one animation to another, you would see it wouldn't be that smooth. There would be a little bit of a hiccup here and there. So that kind of leads me to believe that this is not like multiple button presses happening, like you're in control during all of that. It seems like it's a fixed animation, similar to how in Assassin's Creed 3, whenever you entered a building, you would kind of just do a fixed animation, go through the building, and then go out the other side. If you understand what I'm saying by that, then you'll kind of get what I'm seeing here. If it's that, then I'm thinking probably WebRush is involved in this. If WebRush is still a mechanic in this game, it does look to be on the same engine as Amazing Spider-Man, so who knows. If I'm wrong and they really just smooth out all those animations, then I'm gonna be impressed, because that's a very hard thing to do in a third-person adventure game, especially one of this size, to be able to do such smooth animations. I mean, hell, just look at Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs has parkour mechanics, and you can see that the animations aren't smooth between each transition that you do. And that you can see that it's button presses doing it, that you as a character are doing all these things. You're in control during all that. But you can see all the animations aren't smooth. This sequence is completely smooth. But, you know, that's just my analysis of it. This might open up a few questions later on. But if the developers are listening, which I doubt, please make it so that you're in control during all these things. Like, being in control of Spider-Man's agility is what makes these games worth playing, at least in my head. If possible, make it so it's easier for people. If people don't like it to be that way, you can have a kid mode similar to how PS1 games had it, where it was a lot easier, or just have it be a setting in the options menu to kind of do it that way instead. But that being said, because I've been putting a lot of emphasis on this one little part, the rest of the trailer was mostly just showing Spider-Man doing his thing, taking down bad guys. Their attire is very interesting, because if you read any of the comics, you'll be trying to draw comparisons and see who exactly are these guys and what do they do. And a lot of people have been saying that it's Mr. Negative's crew. I don't know. I can't really tell who it is. It could be anyone, because this is a completely new story, a completely new universe. So let's see how that works out. Because in the entire trailer, they didn't really give hints at enemies or stuff. There were Easter eggs throughout the entire thing, like Osborn running for president, the Daily Bugle stand in the cafeteria, among a few others. There are other people that do this shit better than I can. That's just what I was able to spot. So that being said, there's not that much hints at other villains so far. Who knows? But the way they showcased Spider-Man doing his thing, basically just beating everyone up, doing his thing, it felt different. Like, it felt like there was weight to everything. Because that's one thing that I always hated about Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it was that everything felt so weightless. Like, just web swinging, wall crawling, or running around. It never felt like it had an actual weight to it. It felt like everything was just a fixed height and like descent kind of thing, and it never really felt like it was fluid. But this, like, even though it was just a little glimpse of it, it did feel like it had weight. It did feel like there was momentum and all these other things, which is pretty interesting to say the least. So there's not much I can say about this. Like I can draw comparisons to other games. Like I'll bring up Web of Shadows again because I'll say Web of Shadows had better web swinging than Spider-Man 2, and it had better combat than Spider-Man 2. I'm not saying Spider-Man 2 is a bad game, don't get me wrong, because Spider-Man 2 had at least a better well, no, Web of Shadows did have a good story. Spider-Man 2 had a better city than Web of Shadows because it had life in it, and Web of Shadows didn't. That's about it. But Web of Shadows did a lot of things right, and one of them was the web swinging, the wall crawling, the running on foot, and just the general combat. Those 4 things, plus the lock-on system, fixing camera issues, that's what elevated that game to just being so good, because you were in control. You had control over everything Spider-Man did, and that's what made that game good. And that's what I think makes any game that revolves around any like action or platforming or, you know, similar stuff to this, is that you need to be able to feel like you're in control. Because these guys defy laws of physics, let's be honest. Like, these guys do amazing things. So having the realistic weight to a certain degree helps, because with web swinging and all these other things, Spider-Man is using his momentum to carry him forward. It's not like he just flies through the air, but he's hanging onto a little line. But when you don't add weight to everything else, that's when it kind of falls apart. And Web of Shadows had that. Well, Web of Shadows had weight, is what I'm saying. But yeah, you could also compare with Spider-Man 2, and it's like, Insomniac, I hope you look at all the old games. Like, even if you're not gonna do anything exactly like it, I hope you're looking at the older games and what people liked about them, because this kind of stuff helps in getting the idea for what people expect. But seeing what you said in the interview, I am hopeful that you're gonna do it. You're gonna do good with this one. The final thing that I want to talk about is the suit. Clearly it's inspired by the Civil War suit that we saw. It has the little eye things, like little mechanical eyelids, which is amazing because finally he can fucking blink and all these other things that made Spider-Man in the comics so funny, and also in the animated series. So you have all these things, and there's a clear difference in the suit, and it's the silver spider in the front and back, and his silver arm bracelets or whatever arm braces that he has. And that's a really interesting decision. It certainly makes him stand out, because we all know Spider-Man wears the same suit colors every time. So right now we got a literal difference in the basic suit for Spider-Man, to also make it seem like this is a different universe, this is something completely unrelated, and this is why he looks that way. I hope the suit is explained, I guess. That's the only thing I can say. I'm not really liking the white, though, but it can grow on me. I know that for a fact. I just hope there's other costumes. Like, if I don't like it, just the costume options are, you know, the Spider-Man games always have this. So as long as it does, I'll be fine. I won't be crying over it or anything. The design choice is not out of this world, though I might get tired of looking at it, so I don't know. Having the suit changing option is good enough. So with that being said, that's all I gotta say about the Spider-Man trailer. So with that being said, that's all I gotta say about the Spider-Man trailer. If you're a Spider-Man fan like me, what do you expect out of this game? Which one of the Spider-Man games was your favorite? Because for me, it was the first one on PS1. I did like Spider-Man 2, but compared to Web of Shadows, Shattered Dimensions, and even Edge of Time, I would put all those above Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man for me. Because Web of Shadows just made it. And I'm talking about just how enjoyable the gameplay was, and the web swinging and all that stuff. So, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And also, thank you to anyone who's been supporting the channel. It means a lot. And, okay, well, let me know what you guys think. And the next video should be about the God of War trailer. because we're also God of War fans. We're huge God of War fans because, well, we're huge God of War fans. So we picked this thing apart and we want to talk about it with you guys. So anyway, thank you for supporting the channel. It helps us. Every share and every favorite helps us get out from underneath all those Call of Duty supply drop opening videos. So it helps us out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.